So many of you have been mentioning CachyOS in the comments. One guy even said my last gaming distro video was trash because I didn't include CachyOS. So instead of just brushing that off, I actually wanted to sit down and understand why people rate it so highly. Anyway, from what I can see, CachyOS is not even positioned as a gaming distro. They do not actually mention it. It seems to be more about raw system performance in general, which will obviously improve gaming, but realistically, by how much? Don't worry, I do plan to try CachyOS in the future as part of my trying out different distros, so keep an eye out for that one. CachyOS users often say that it feels smooth in games and feels super snappy. Why is that? I really wanted to understand what actually affects smoothness in games and whether CachyOS would realistically change anything for my system. Now, to be clear, I'm not an expert, I'm still pretty new to Linux. This is just what I've learned so far, off the internet, and as always, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. To start with, I hear that using CachyOS can improve the 1% lows. From what I understand, 1% lows are about the worst moments in performance. It's not your best FPS, it's the dips, and those dips are what cause stutter and that rough feeling during gameplay. CachyOS is tuned very aggressively for performance. It uses custom kernels, custom CPU scheduling, and performance tweaks right out of the box. I mean, that is cool and all, and I really do get why people choose it when you see those words. But here is the thing for me. My hardware already does a lot of the heavy lifting. I'm running a Ryzen 7 5700 X3D, an RX 9060 XT with 16GB RAM and 32GB of system RAM, all on a 144Hz ultra-wide display, and I game at 1440p. It's not the top of the line PC by a long shot, but apparently the CPU alone is already pretty damn good at keeping frame times really smooth, and the extra cache helps keep frame timing more consistent. I also run games lower than ultra settings. On Fedora, my games already feel pretty smooth. I rarely ever see stutter, my frame pacing feels consistent and my input feels responsive. So for my system, I do not really see a problem that needs fixing. From what I understand though, CachyOS can really help on older CPUs and lower core count systems, but also for very high FPS competitive games. Now, I don't really play competitive games, and by the way, I will try CachyOS on a low-end system at some point, so watch this space. But on modern medium to high-end hardware, especially with a CPU like mine, the differences seem to show up more in benchmark charts than actual real gameplay. Another thing for me is stability. Fedora feels solid, it's predictable. It updates pretty cleanly. I also use my system for real work, not just gaming, so stability really matters to me. So the question that really comes to mind is this: am I realistically leaving any real performance on the table by staying on Fedora? From what I have gathered, most modern stutter now comes from game engines, shader compilation, and asset streaming. A different distro cannot really fix those things. So at best I might be missing a few extra FPS, but nothing that would have a massive impact on how the game actually feels in my hand. So for now, here is my conclusion. If CachyOS works for you, then great, you are on Linux, so let's celebrate that. But there is not really enough for me to want to make the move on my setup. Now, although that might change in the future as I learn more from you guys in the comments about CachyOS, for now, Fedora is doing exactly what I need it to do, and I have no interest in changing. If you've made it this far, then you are amazing, especially if you're on CachyOS. A special thanks to you. Don't forget to leave a comment or an emoji for the sake of engagement. It really does help the channel grow. Thanks so much for watching. You guys take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.